All right, we're about to dive into one of the wildest heists in Indian history. I mean, this is a crime so perfectly planned, so audacious, it feels like it was ripped straight out of a Hollywood movie.
Get this, the number you see there, that's what we're talking about, 5.78 crore rupees. To put that in perspective, that's well over $500,000 US. And it was snatched from a sealed compartment on a moving train.
But, the money isn't even the craziest part of the story. Not by a long shot. The real mystery is how they did it. This was a crime so flawless, it left the country's best investigators completely baffled for years. To really get this, we have to start where the whole story broke. So picture this, it's the morning of August 9th, 2016. Officials from the Reserve Bank of India are at Chennai's Egmore station, ready to pick up a massive shipment of cash. A totally routine day, right? Or so they thought. They unseal the coach, and it's just total chaos inside. Wooden boxes are smashed open, old banknotes are scattered all over the floor. And then they look up, and there it is. A clean 2-by-2-foot hole cut right through the metal roof of the train. So the big question is, how in the world did that happen? To figure that out, we've got to rewind the clock 24 hours, back to when the Salem-Chennai-Egmore Express first pulled out of the station. Okay, so this train was carrying a ton of money. We're talking 342 crore rupees. But it was what's called soiled currency, basically old, torn, dirty cash the banks collect to send to the RBI for destruction. So it was on its final journey. And you'd think it'd be locked down tight, right? I mean, it had 18 police officers guarding it. This is where the sheer criminal genius of the plan comes in. The robbers had this tiny, specific window of opportunity. They knew the train's route intimately. They targeted a stretch of track where the train ran on a diesel engine. Now, why does that matter? Because it meant no deadly high-voltage electric wires were hanging overhead. It was the one and only section where they could safely get on top of the train. And their plan was just, wow, a 5-step operation pulled off with military precision. And don't forget, the train is barreling down the tracks at 70 kilometers an hour this entire time. They get on the roof, cut the hole, drop down, stuff bundles of cash into lungis, a kind of sarong, and then just vanish into the night. So the robbers are gone. Poof. And the police are left with an impossible puzzle. This case would quickly become one of the most frustrating cold cases in the country's history. And I'm not exaggerating. For 2 full years, nothing. 730 days ticked by, and the case was absolutely ice cold. The thieves were just out there, living their lives, probably thinking they'd committed the perfect crime. You have to feel for the investigators. They were hitting a brick wall at every single turn. No witnesses, no useful CCTV footage. They found some fingerprints, even a few drops of blood, but they didn't match anyone in any criminal database. They questioned over 2,000 people and got 0 leads. And here was the real killer. Because it was old, soiled currency headed for the shredder, nobody had bothered to record the serial numbers. The money was completely untraceable. With the case officially cold and the pressure mounting, the Special Investigation Unit, the CBCID, knew they couldn't keep doing the same old thing. They had to think outside the box, like way outside the box. I mean, just imagine it. They've chased dead ends across half the country, interviewed thousands of people. All the normal police work just led nowhere. The trail wasn't just cold, it was frozen solid. And that's when they had this wild idea. What if the clue they needed wasn't on the ground? What if the answer they were looking for was hundreds of miles up in space? So they did something that was totally unprecedented for a criminal case in India. They reached out to the U.S. Space Agency. Yes, that NASA. They actually asked them for high-resolution satellite photos of the train route for the exact night of the robbery. And this is where it all comes together. The tech experts had already found a few mysterious cell phone numbers that were moving at the exact same speed as the train. By itself, it wasn't enough, but when they combined that data with the NASA satellite images, they got their breakthrough. The images literally showed shapes, figures of people on the roof of the train, and crucially, those shapes disappeared right before the train reached Vrithachalam, the exact same spot where the cell phone signals vanished. They had 'em. This incredible mix of ground-level cell data and eyes-in-the-sky satellite tech led them straight to a notorious gang of criminals. And believe me, the story only gets stranger from here.
So who were these guys? The Party Gang, a group from central India. The mastermind was a hardened criminal named Mohan Singh Parthi, And their method was just incredibly patient. They lived in tiny huts near the railway tracks for weeks, posing as laborers while they meticulously mapped out the train's route, its speed, and its security.
But here comes the punchline. The most unbelievable cosmic twist of fate you can imagine. They pull off this perfect crime, right? Then, just 3 months later, the Indian government announces demonetization. Overnight, all 500 and 1,000 rupee notes, the very notes they stole, were declared illegal tender.
Just like that, their entire haul, all that stolen cash, became worthless paper. They couldn't spend it, they couldn't exchange it, all that planning, all that risk, for nothing. In the end, they were forced to literally set fire to crores of rupees, just watching their perfect crime go up in smoke.
So, case closed, justice served, right? Well, not quite. The mastermind, Mohan Singh, was arrested and charged, but then, in 2021, he was released on bail. The court's reason? A supposed lack of evidence. Absolutely unbelievable.
And this leaves us with a final, really unsettling thought. This wasn't some first-time offender. Mohan Singh had over 50 criminal cases against him for things like robbery and even murder. So it really makes you wonder, when a system can use space-age technology to solve an impossible crime, but can't manage to keep its architect behind bars, who is justice actually for?